Hey, welcome to this episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. So you might have noticed that this beer that we're reviewing tonight was sitting on the shelf here for like a month and a half. Well, let's finally review it. I'm talking about good old Modelo Especial Golden full flavored pilsner style lager with a clean, crisp finish. Imported beer brewed in Mexico. It's only 4.4 ABV. I never realized that before. And it's good until like Christmas of this year. So pour it into the Chad's Beer Reviews glass from 2009. And yeah, it is a pretty standard lager. I would call this more of a golden bordering on amber color. It's not like kind of the fizzy yellow, although it is pretty fizzy. And it got about a finger, 2 fingers of foam. It has dissipated, not surprisingly, macro lager. So this is something I haven't smelled in a long time. Skunk. Modelo must be like one of the last breweries to still be using clear bottles. And I'm surprised because even if you're going to use clear bottles, they do have like these GMO hops now that like are skunk proof or something like that. So yeah, it's funny. Like to me, the skunk isn't like super off-putting. It actually has like kind of a nostalgia quality to it, but I mean, otherwise it just smells like lager. I believe that this is an all malt beer, though. It's kind of what separates the 2A International Pale Lager from the 1B American Lager, because the American lagers, Bud Miller Coors, the macro lagers all use an adjunct of some sort, and like the international ones like Heineken, Stella Artois, they're all malt. So yeah. Smells pretty skunky. Hopefully it doesn't taste that bad. Cheers. Yeah. I will say it tastes way better than it smells. In fact, it's actually quite sweet. Very malty. I get like a little bit of a caramel kind of presence there. Maybe, I don't know. I thought I tasted corn grits or something maize, but just pretty standard lager kind of flavor. I mean, maybe sort of like in the Helles range, but not nearly as nuanced as like an actual German lager. This is obviously a macro lager, so it's pretty basic. It's probably just base malt. It's probably a smash, actually. There's like a little bit of spicy hops in here, but yeah, I'm not really picking up any like corn or rice or anything like that. Yeah, it's got a little bit. I can notice the bitterness on it. Something I wouldn't have noticed, I don't know, 15 years ago when I first reviewed this. I'll put a link somewhere. I remember reviewing this a long time ago where I made a homemade burrito and did it with this beer. And I will say this is not bad, especially for a macro lager. And by the way, did you know that this is the number 1 selling beer in America now? It dethroned Bud Light like a year ago, and as far as I know, it has held that standing. So it's still the number 1 best-selling beer in America. It's kind of walks a fine line between a light lager and a standard lager, although there is no international light lager unless you count the Leicht beer, which is like the German equivalent of a light lager. So yeah, I'd say this definitely has a little bit more body than your Bud Light. I mean, obviously it's still medium light. Carbonation is fairly high. Been holding that the whole time. It's pretty refreshing while it's in the mouth. It has a slightly, oddly enough, has like a slightly kind of spicy hop aftertaste, or that might just be like kind of like the kind of skunk aftertaste. There's some kind. It is not finished completely clean, which is fine by me. Yeah, this is just kind of the taste of gold lager. Yeah, this isn't bad at all. It's not great. I mean, that skunkiness really is off-putting. But I mean, if you can get this in a can, go for it. It's going to probably be much better. But yeah, I am having no trouble drinking this. And at 4.4, you could definitely throw back a few of these, no problem. So maybe that's like kind of the appeal. And I will say this doesn't taste like now like craft breweries are making these Mexican lagers where like they actually taste like the corn chips you would get at a Mexican restaurant. This to me just it's like Stella Artois, Heineken, Carlsberg, something like that. You know, some kind of all malt but basic macro lager. So it's not that I love it, but I don't hate it. And I've definitely grown a lot as a beer enthusiast and connoisseur and beer judge and all that. So years ago, I would have said this was awful. I would have given it like a 3 or a 4. 2024, I'm going to give this a solid 7 out of 10. It's not bad. It's not great. It's good. It's good for what it is. And I could definitely, like I'm having no problem drinking this. So what's not to like? Other than the fact that it's made from a huge, huge brewery, Grupo Modelo. Anyway, I'm going really long. If you watch all the way in, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you for Cider Saturday. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Review.
Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.